Yes, it could be your best teacher. Your failure could be your best teacher, and it could also be your worst nightmare. And it comes together. The good part is it all depends on you and how you approach it. And the challenge part is that many times when you're in failure mode, the last thing you want to hear that failure is your best teacher. You're like, what? I just failed in my relationship, in my business, or any goal I put for myself, and now you're telling me it's my best teacher? Are you joking? So first, I'm not joking, even though sometimes we have some good jokes here, but now specifically, yes, failure can be your best teacher. The thing is that when you approach it right, yes, it will be your best teacher. When you approach it in a way that doesn't serve you, it would be your worst nightmare. And by the way, that won't be your last failure. You'll have much more, and that failure will take you to another failure and another one and another one. Because pretty simple, you won't learn the lesson. Now when you learn the lesson, so I'm not saying you'll have no more failures, but they will be your best teachers, and I'll explain exactly how. When you go through anything in life, okay, you're going through life journey, for sure you'll fail. That's part of life. Now, the best lessons that you learn are through failure. By the beginning, it might be really hard to learn the lessons. And the bigger the failure was, maybe now it's not the time to learn the lesson. Maybe now it's the time to wait. Maybe right now, you're suffering that you're going through. Just feel the feeling over there, okay? Be in it. If you need people to help you and be, with you in that suffering and that failure, okay, all good. Have with you people. By the way, also when you go through that failure, you could decide to suffer, and that means basically identify with the failure as you and stay there. Or eventually with time, and this is what we're going to talk about right now, get those gifts from the failure. Now, anything you go through in life, in any field, like I said, there'll be times you fail. And when you go through these failing times, ask yourself, okay, what can I learn? Because these are the best lessons, okay? If someone else will tell you now, something I remember when I was I was doing some real estate in St. Louis. And before I went to this conference of different real estate investors, and one of them told me about a whole story of contractors and how they're great people, but with his experience, he got screwed up many times. And I said, okay, interesting, but I didn't go through that experience. He lost a lot of money, and I was listening, but I didn't get that lesson like him. And only later on, when I went through challenges with contractors, only then I learned the lesson, because it was my failure, okay? I did some things wrong. And when I went through that, and when I got into big debt, and I learned those lessons, and then they were painful, only then I was able to learn the lesson. So I took that opportunity of failing to a place of, okay, something happened. It happened already. I can't fight reality that happened. Why? Because it happened. And if it happened, it's the best thing that happened. Why? Again, because it happened. Don't try to fight things that already happened. The fact is that they happened specifically to you. Okay, yes, they happened to you. And they meant to happen to you because they happened to you. Now it's your job to learn the lesson. So in my case, I remember after, I had all those challenges, I didn't do it that second. I waited a little bit. And then I wrote down, what can I learn from here? What are the gifts that I got from this experience? The same thing with you. When you go through any challenging phase in life, whether, like I said, personal things, relationship, business, take that time, that hardship, and learn the lessons that were there for you, because it happens specifically to you. So there are lessons for you to learn. Now, if you'll say, no, there's nothing for me to learn, it was just something that got screwed up and I'm good, you're going to go through much more suffering, because if you're not learning the lessons that life provides you, you'll just fall in the same place again and again and again. So the thing is, many times, like I said, when we're going through that suffering time, or through that challenge, through that failure, it's really hard to go and look at the good things and the gifts that we learned from this experience. So the beginning, maybe wait, okay? There's, like I said, the saying of Brené Brown, in order to heal, you need to feel. So go through that challenge, feel it, and then, like, let's say 3 weeks out, ask yourself, what can I learn from this challenge that happened to me? And then 2 months out, ask yourself, what could I learn from this challenge that happened to me? And then a year out, ask yourself, what can I learn from this challenge that happened to me? And you'll see, the more the time passes, and you'll be connected to whatever it is that happened, not connected self-identity. That means you're not connecting yourself, okay, I'm that failure. Failure is something, there's a part of you that failed, and now you're going to grow from it through the lesson. But when I say connecting, I mean that you're going to revisit over there just for a short time to learn the lesson. You'll see that the best gifts are in those failures. Anything in life, like I said, that you go through, you'll go through times, there'll be difficulties. I don't remember the exact quote of Churchill that it says that success is going from failure to failure, learning the lesson and getting up. Something like that. The point is that I want you now to take something specific in your life. Now, if you're now in the middle of that time that you're failing, maybe this is the time to go out and be with some friends, people you're close to. Go do things that you connect. If there's a certain hobby, go do it. If you don't have the money to do it, so there are many different things that don't cost money, and you could go do them. Okay, this is if you're now in the middle of failure, that's something else. But if you're in a place that you're able to start asking yourself the questions of, okay, what did I learn from here? What gift is in here for me? You'll see that you could get a lot from the failure. Now, many times in life, okay, when you fail, you think you're done, and that's it, and this is not for you, and it's not meant to be. Let's take for an example our relationship, okay? You try working on it, and you fail, and then you try again, and you fail, and then you succeed, and then you fail, and then you succeed. But together, the failure and the success, which they come together, they build a stronger relationship. Now, if you're only working on your relationship and nothing really works, and you always fail in working, like you go through hard times and you're never able to find solutions, or never able to go out of your comfort zone, come towards your partner, and then the opposite, and then when you have some good conversations, you build your relationship. If you're not able to do all that, maybe there's a question mark over there, but I'm just assuming, I might be wrong, but if there were times you were able to do it back in the past, you might, and probably also able to do it over here right now in the present. So again, also here, something doesn't work in the relationship, okay, let's be open, let's work on it. We failed. What are the lessons for us for the future in order to create a better relationship? In business, for sure, in business, I think all of business is around failure, okay? Because only when you go through serious failure, not only, but most of the times, you'll see big business people, they went through failure, okay? When I talk with investors, and I told them, when there will be challenges in one of the real estate deals, now you need to see who is the person you want to work with that would provide the right answers for those challenges. So I always told them, there will be things that are going to happen that you could call them failures. You want to work with the people that know how to get the results with the failures. Okay, so failures is part of life. It's your job to learn from them. If you want, you could say, I don't want to learn, and I just want to stay with the same failures and go around again and again, do the same thing, and fall again and again in the same place. If you enjoy that, enjoy. Hard to believe you do. So you could also write down now in a few different areas of life. So let's say in sports, okay, nutrition, ask yourself, what is it that I really wanted to get better at? Any type of sport, movement, nutrition, it didn't work for me. Okay, why didn't it work for you? Because A, B, C, D. Okay, what's the next thing you could do in order to make it better? Do that, focus on that. And then the same thing, relationships, same thing, work. Where do you think you failed? Okay, what's the lesson over here? Write down the lesson. Amazing, you wrote down the lesson. Now, you could think ahead, that's beautiful, but what's the next step or next 2 steps you can take? Because if you just failed, many times you don't have that energy to think 1,000 steps ahead. Or you think 1,000 steps ahead, and that only takes you down because you're not in the mood for that, because you just failed and you're like, really? Thinking all the way out there? So what's the lesson? What's the next 2 steps you can take? And then just go implement over there, okay? And you'll see that the more you learn from your failures, and you take the next step and the step after that, okay, reality will unfold. Maybe not exactly how you want it to unfold, but with the lessons that are exactly for you. And when you learn those lessons, so you are able to see more of the beauty and more of the skills that are in you, and with that, light for the people around you. Hi, I hope you enjoyed the video and you got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. For us to help other people, please press that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget that the most amazing things in life are the one you take for granted.